Thank you for joining another episode of Noise and Silve's Head. And today we have Carina. She is another alumni, I guess, of SPUM. I feel like, yeah, I guess I'm going to streak that I be talking to everyone from SPUM that I know for the next 13 episodes of this so-called season of mine. Um, Karina is a classmate. Don't, I think French. What did I have French? I don't know. I forgot which class it was. And I asked her to join because I have a few questions about her hobby and also I think part-time work now. So yeah, let me go ahead and you can go ahead and just and introduce yourself. So basically, who are you? Why are you here, and how did I get you here?
All right. Thank you very much for inviting me in. Hi, my name is Carina. I am a certified international yoga instructor, also a teacher. So we usually call it's usually called teacher.
Mhm.
I've been teaching yoga for 7 years.
Wow.
I've been practicing for 9 years. And yeah, it was just my hobby before, but this is already my job, my full-time job, and this is my passion. So yeah, I started in the corporate, working in the corporate, and eventually I found my way here. I left the corporate in 2017, and then eventually I just took the leap to follow my heart, follow my heart to share yoga to everybody. And yes, thank you very much for inviting me in, and I hope I can inspire you and your listeners to join a yoga class.
I wish I could. Yeah, I'm thinking about that because at least this is something you could do uh, through through Zoom meetings or Google Meets, and it'd be okay. I think I would be okay with that rather than actually doing it in class, like an actual class. Because if there's something wrong, I don't have to be conscious that everyone is actually doing it right. I'll just do it on my own. Okay, so yeah, thank you for joining and saying yes to me when I asked you to join. So we will have icebreakers. Hopefully, people will get to know you more with this question. So I realized I've been using Zoom and my video is on mirror. So just let me know if it's my right hand or left hand.
Okay, great. Left hand.
Okay, left hand and then another left hand. Oh wait, no, like pick which hand?
another pick. Right hand.
Okay, right hand. Okay, so your question, I've sent you the possible questions for the icebreakers. And your question actually is what is your favorite childhood movie and why?
Oh, cool. For me, when I saw that you sent me the questions, I just thought of Parent Trap. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, I'm really a fan of chick flick, and it's really nice to like create adventures when I'm really into adventures, and I was really into it, and I find that I was really resonating with the character, even if I don't have a twin sister.
Mhm.
And their worlds were so different, and they get to see the other world of the other sister. And family is a big thing here in the Philippines. So um I think it's a really nice movie, and get to I won't forget that movie if that will pop in the television. I just want to watch it again, over again. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is a good movie. It's like it's not just like a chick flick. I think every kid would actually
Yeah.
want to have a twin that has a different life that they can switch to. I would want that. I mean, I don't want my parents to separate.
Yeah, it's like if you don't have a friend yet, then you want to create a friend, and that's going to be your sister, right?
Yeah.
and since I don't have a sister, I was like, oh, it's really nice to have a sister that you can share clothes or share your stuff. And the first thing that you can share your secret is to your sister, like, or to
Mm-hmm.
your closest friend if you don't have a sister. And yeah, it's really a nice movie, and the dancing and the stuff when they meet up and everything. It's really a nice movie. And I'm also a Disney fan, so
Oh, so that's why, yeah, I get it now.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't pick the usual princesses movies because everyone's going to pick it, but I just thought of Parent Trap me. There's a love story, there's a sister reuniting, and
Mm-hmm.
the family is reunited. And it's so nice. It's like really hard. It's super. You just want that family all over again to be with you.
To be part of it, yeah.
Yeah, to be part of. Even the butler is part of the family, and the housemaid or the personal assistant, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is okay. Okay. So yeah, okay. So now you know more about her. Maybe if you want to noisy background. Well, if you want to get to know her more, maybe just message her page. I know her page. I'm gonna give her plug time for that. But yeah, let's basically get into. I'm. I feel like I'm so excited because I really have questions about it. I did have another opinion before in the podcast, like I think last season, and she was more into CrossFit. I've
Mm.
already been invited to. I'll have to teach you. Like I'm scared, but okay when everything is okay, and because it still has to be in the gym for CrossFit. And so I basically invited you because I wanted to know more about yoga. So you did touch up on this earlier. So how did you exactly get into yoga?
Oh, great. Basically, I was really too stressed at work. So earlier I mentioned that I worked in the corporate. So I graduated psychology in St. Paul, and my first job was with human resources. I didn't jump anymore to any industry. I just continued on with HR. Um, you know, HR is really one of the stressful jobs in the country, and I'm just really burnt out, and I want something new. And everything back then was so stressful, and I just want to understand what was the stress all about, and everything was compiling and compiling, and I want to take care of myself since I'm working already, and I'm not getting any younger, and I just want things. I want something to be like, I want to move on with, like, I'm motivated every day if I'm going to work or something like that. So a friend invited me to yoga, which is just across my office, and it's really really timely and very coincidence that it's just across my office. So she invited me in, and she said, well, you just give it a try. And I went to one class, and eventually I loved it. But during the class, I was really having a hard time. And I think there's no easy first time. So everything will be like, it's a process. And eventually I went on, and I didn't stop, and it became part of my life, and it's already my lifestyle. Um, and I don't think I'm really blessed, and I'm really grateful that I found it,
Mhm.
and my friend introduced it to me. And I think I found the right place, and it was the right time to do it. Yeah, so I think everything is really timing for all of the things that you need to do in your life.
True.
It was a new job for me. It was a new workplace. It was like everything. We transferred to a new home from Parañaque. We moved to Laguna. Everything was compiling. So I was like, I was rattled and I don't know what to do. And good thing I found it. So it made me a lot better. I felt a lot better after my first class. And I just went on.
Wow. I mean, uh, I guess I don't really know much about how the actual classes go. So it's just
Sure. Yeah.
I, I feel like does it start with meditation and all that? I mean,
So yoga has a lot of different styles.
mhm,
Yeah. Um, the first thing that people come in, it's because the people come in and they see the benefits in one snap. It's because you're moving. We continuously move. And when you move, your body creates more space. And when you breathe, your body creates more space as well. So once you have more space, the more that you can breathe, the more that you can think more, the more that you can loosen up. Yeah. So yoga is really more of uniting the body and the spirit and the mind as one. Yeah. We move with the breath and really synchronizing the breath and the movement together.
okay.
There is meditation, but during my first class there was no specific meditation per se and formal introduction, but the moving part was actually considered as meditation. So classes vary in duration. Some are 90 minutes, some are 60 minutes. Pre-COVID life.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID life. It was in a studio. So I took a hot yoga class, and the sweat is really, really a lot. And when you sweat a lot, it just gives you a lot of like the toxins are out of your body, and you feel relieved because
Mhm.
everything is already out of your body. All of the tension, all of the stresses, all of the negativity are out. Um, and I think that's the first step people get, like we go back and get addicted with. It's because we are moving a lot and
Mhm.
because of the poses. Um, that's actually the first step for all of the people who tries yoga. Some people, they say, it's going to be difficult because I can't do it.
Mhm.
And it's not for me because I'm not flexible. The thing about that, the more that you're not flexible, the better. It's because you're not prone into injury. Because the more flexible you are, the more that you're going to be injured. Yeah, that's another topic that we can talk about.
Oh,
Yeah. This thing about, yeah, because I'm not too flexible, I don't want to go there. Yeah.
okay.
That's the reason why you have to go there. It's because, or why you want to enroll, because we want flexibility in our life, not just in our body. And it's because we want to also be flexible in how we see life, right?
Yeah.
And it's really hard when you just get used to, I just want this in one box, right? We want to expand our comfort zones. And I think yoga taught me how to be flexible in and out of my mat. Flexible when I say I'm flexible when I'm doing my yoga poses, and flexible when I'm applying it outside of my yoga mat, aka also my life. Like you don't just stick to a plan, right? You want to get plan B, C, D, and etc.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so there are so many things about yoga that people needs to know, and it's really interesting. So yeah, it's not just about poses. It's not about making your body like a pretzel. It's not about that, but it's part of it. But you can always choose what style that you can go to. It's like fitting your favorite shoe. And there's a lot of offerings that yoga can give you. So if you just want like gentle yoga, there's gentle yoga. If you want vigorous yoga, there's classes for that. And if you want something that you want to sweat on, that's perfectly fine. There's a class for that as well. If you just want to get your pillows and just sit down on the floor, there's something like that as well. So there's a lot. You just simply want to find the right style for you. And yeah, so the breathing, the movements, and the relaxation are there in all of the components of each style. So basically that's it. What yoga teaches us is we want to get outside of the world and really apply all of the things that we know inside of our practice. We call it practice because we do it all over again. It's a never ending journey. Yeah, so it's not just going to a studio or just applying or enrolling yourself into a yoga class. It's simply, how do we respond to stresses in our life? How do we respond emotional stresses, or how do we respond to an emotion, something like that. And as mentioned earlier, the first component is, being into that physical movement, or if you're into the movement state, because it creates a lot of nice and I call it magic, because when you move, everything changes. So they say that sometimes our issues our issues are found in our tissues, so we have to move them.
Well, that's
We
a
have
good
to
thing.
move
Okay.
them. Yeah, because imagine if you're just sitting down all day.
Mhm.
Like for my job, when I was working in the corporate, I was just sitting down for how many hours? And if you're not standing up, the brain will not move, the brain will not think.
Mhm.
um, and I truly believe movement is medicine. So when you move, everything will change. Even if it's not yoga, even if it's CrossFit or dancing. Yeah. And there's more ways for you to really find that perfect spot for you.
Mhm.
And if yoga is not for you, then that's okay. And but I really encourage people to really try it, and not only one class, because one class will do nothing. Probably try 5 classes and see how it goes.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, if you really want to try something, you at least
Mm-mm.
try to get to immerse to it. Maybe if you want to get into writing, don't just write one, like maybe one story and then it doesn't sound good, or it doesn't, people would not read it. Then don't stop there. Then do more, practice,
Correct.
read. Yeah, everything is a practice. It can be just magic like that and you'll be okay. So yeah, okay.
I
Yeah,
agree.
definitely thinking about it. So yeah, let's go. Let's proceed to my next questions, because I know you were working corporate. I think I did ask you for a few jobs that you were posting, but
Yeah.
the most interesting thing I remember seeing on your Facebook before, when you were still working, is you, this is not really a question, I just want to tell you, it's so amusing to see you working in the office with the um I don't know what it's called, with the gym ball as your chair.
Yeah. Um, the beauty about my last job, my company was really open for wellness,
Mm-hmm.
and my boss was really supportive about my yoga career,
Okay.
and they know that I'm teaching on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So back when I was in the corporate, I was teaching before work, and I'm gonna work, and then I'm gonna do my desk job, and I'm gonna go back to the studio for me to teach. It has been my passion to really help people. From my HR background, I've been helping people to get jobs, and now I'm helping people with how they deal with their stresses in their lives. Um, and the thing about that, the gym ball, because we just want people to really recognize that you have to take care of yourself as
Mhm.
early as now, right here, right now. Because when you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others? How
Mm.
can you? We always start with ourselves, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm truly blessed with, well, with all of the companies that I've been, because everybody is really supportive, and it was just really timing that I needed to take my own leap,
Mm.
and I just I just needed that right time, because I knew in my heart that I wanted to really teach full time. It was really hard to juggle my teaching and my corporate job, actually, but I gained a lot of skills because I was doing too many hats, and I just I just found that I was really happy. I was really happy after class, seeing everybody, their smiles and the eagerness that they want to go back to class. Yeah, and I think I'm still doing some corporate jobs actually now on the side. So I already rotated my.
You've reversed it now.
I reversed it already for a couple of years. But now I'm just taking few slots for my projects for recruiting, because I'm
Mhm.
doing full time for my company, which is Flow and Recovery.
Yes.
And basically I just want to focus with what I have right now, because it's online is a different thing
Yes.
with in person. Yeah, and I really encourage corporate companies or companies to really highlight wellness in their companies. I guess physical and mental, emotional, spiritual whole being should be highlighted, and it should be a priority,
Mhm.
because when your employee is not that motivated, then they're gonna say goodbye to you anytime, coming from a recruitment standpoint. So I think that last company was really, really nice and very, very supportive of the wellness.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Sorry. Background noise. Nara nila yung gate ang ingay. So yeah. Um, well, my next question is, so you basically touched upon it again. I love it. I love it. I love sending the questions ahead of time. I could 5 minutes to start the next question.
That's
Um,
good.
so yeah, the next question is, so what made you decide to teach? I get it. It's your passion to help. It's just, it is definitely going to be a leap of faith to be teaching and working at the same time. I get it that you want to help, but did that not take a toll on you as well, that you're working maybe 8 hours in your corporate job, and then classes before and after?
That's
And
a
I
very good
and
question.
I think you were working in Taguig, and I didn't know if
Yeah,
you're staying somewhere or are you going home to Laguna. So yeah, I sorry, no, so many questions, but
that's
I'll let you take
okay.
the floor.
That's okay. I was actually going home in Laguna for some days, and I had a condo in. I was staying with my cousins in Malate, Manila for some
Mhm.
time, and I already moved out. So during that days, I also stayed in my condo in Pasay. But that was really, really on and off.
Mhm.
So mostly I was staying in Laguna. My dad was really waiting for me all the time. So he was really supportive. Um, to answer your question, I I just needed to explain really, really well, because people are asking me that as well. Teaching was my motivation for me to work.
Oh, okay.
Um, I just, but I really needed to turn around everything, and I don't want to be, positive psychology. And I just feel that it's really light for me. It was not a burden at all, because when you see people smiling,
Mhm.
it uplifts my mood to carry out throughout the day for my corporate job. I mean, for my desk job. And everything was really smooth, but there were really bad days that it was I'm still human. And I'm really into protecting my energy. That's why I want to pick up the right energy for myself. And I just saw that teaching before work was just my motivation for me to start my day.
Mhm.
And when I'm tired after work, then I have to go back to teaching. So I just need some time to pause, just for me to really be aware that I'm not transferring all of the bad energy that I got from
Uh,
work, if I have that, to my students. Because I just that's why they come to class, because they want good energy as well. So same thing, yeah. So what I did was, I just really I needed to take a shower before I teach, so that I won't pass any bad energy to them. And really grateful that my parents were really supportive. Like, my dad was waiting for me all the time after I teach, and he drives me to work as well. So I'm really blessed
wow.
about that part. Oh, yeah. Basically, everything was smooth enough for my transitioning to do a full time teaching. I was really testing the waters for a couple of years, and it was
Mhm.
not an easy transition. And eventually, I found my way to, you know, get my own Grab, get my own Uber, and then transfer, use that transportation. I don't have a car
Okay.
because I thought of, if I park, I'm also going to waste some effort and time for my parking and my
Yeah.
energy and how to park, etc.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I just want that out of the way, because I can sleep in the Grab or Uber when I'm tired, and that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, everything was a motivation. So I just don't want to. I was really protecting myself with thinking of negative thinking. I was more of the positive thinking, because yoga taught me how to do it. You're gonna feel it if you're there. I
I.
might not explain a lot with how I did it, but I was not really overthinking everything, because everything was so happy. Like, up to now, if you're gonna go through it, but now is a different timing, because it's pandemic and we all stay at home. Um, yeah, there are really, really hard days because you commute, but teaching and working, juggling together, was still a blessing, and it's really nice to have two hats.
Cool. Okay. Speaking of your dad, I'm also amused that he's doing yoga with you as well, right?
Oh yeah.
I feel like a
Yes.
stalker by saying this because I saw photos in your. I don't usually check. It's just sometimes there's photos on your timeline that would make you remember. Oh, I go the dad's doing this, and I didn't know he drives you. It's like, uh,
Yeah, he goes to a different studio, and I go to a different studio, because that's the studio that's near his work or
uh
his office.
oh,
And it's really more of proximity matters.
okay.
It matters all the time, because we want to you want to plan things ahead
True.
when you're pre-COVID days, because the traffic is really intense. Yeah. And it's really nice that he actually knows what's the benefits.
Mhm.
So he feels it, and he knows, and he understands what's happening. So yeah, when we say, like, I'm gonna go to yoga, so let's go home around 10, something like that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. and then we go early to work. So it has been part of our lives already, and it's really important for us, and we cannot skip a yoga practice. So it a yoga practice means you have to go to your studio or you have to apply it in your life.
Okay, got it. Hang on. I don't know what's the celebration. There's fireworks.
Surprise!
I don't know. I think it's maybe because maybe it may be religion because it's the end of May.
Oh yeah, could be,
Mama
could be.
Mary, Mama Mary's month and all. Okay, so yeah, so this is basically me. This is the question I've been wanting to ask,
Go for
and
it.
it's really nice to hear how you started and how you got into teaching and all. I don't want to say what else I know about you because that's just really gonna sound like I stalked your Facebook. Sometimes I
Go for
do.
it.
No, not really. I just eat. But yeah, what is the best way to start yoga? I mean, for somebody I know, yeah, for somebody I know like me, it's not really flexible. So you said that's something good because that would prevent you from getting injuries. But yeah, what's the best way? How,
Um,
like thinking about it now, it's like how what would be the best way to do it now, like COVID times? Because I know
mhm.
if it's pre-COVID, it would be best for you to at least have maybe try a class.
Correct, correct. Um, this time is really different from the in-person classes. But for me, I really try to really really do it like an in-person class
Mhm.
through still through online.
Mhm.
Oh, I think now is an easier time because we're doing it at our own homes. You
Mhm.
just need to put up a space,
Mhm.
have your own space, have your own safe space, and you can just turn off your video if you're joining an online class.
Mhm.
The difference now, you have so many options. You have YouTube, you have a lot of teachers already there
Mhm.
outside of I mean all over the world, and you just need to choose the right teacher for you. And it's going to be easier if you know the teacher already, because trust is one thing that you have to build. Also the teacher as well needs to build to the student. But the first thing that you need to prepare is yourself, of course, your space. You should have a space that you can move around, that you can extend your arms to the sides, you can extend your arms up, or you can, roll right and left. And maybe a space that you can if you just have a small space, something that you can extend your arms, and that's good. Um, and I think you still need to prepare mentally a bit and physically, because physically, when I say physically, you should not be eating a heavy meal before class. It's because we're gonna go forward folds, and then we're gonna stand up, forward folds again. We're gonna use your belly. So no meals before class.
Okay.
And mentally, you should just really prepare that you're going to, like, for example, you're going to a meeting, something like that.
Okay.
And what I tell my students is just, take an alarm or prepare your alarm for classes, and all you have to do is to log in. And the beauty about right now, you don't have traffic to deal with, and you just step on the mat. Others, they just what they do what I do actually before, this is my bed and my mat is already here. So
Mhm.
when I go down down outside my bed, I'm ready.
Okay.
And that's okay. I mean, that's a strategy that you want to build, because in creating new habits, you want to be aware. And what yoga is doing right now, what yoga is teaching you, is we are creating new habits for you,
Mhm.
for the better. So it's more of a strategy that you have so that you can fully successfully experience the class. I encourage everybody to take an online class or live streaming classes. It's because it's really different from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that YouTube is, I mean, classes in YouTube are not okay, but with online classes that I offer, or just like what I offer, it's I can supervise everybody because I see
Mm-hmm.
everybody moving. But if you don't like to turn on your video, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
We respect the privacy of the students. And the thing about a live class, there's an interaction, even if even if you're on mute or off cam, you still hear people like saying hi on or before or after class.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really nice to have a community right now. It's because we need people to, talk to, we
Yeah.
need people to hang on, and we need support. And that's flow and recovery doing right now. So that's what one of the things that I am really offering my students, really supporting their physical and emotional and spiritual mental being. And imagine if people are just, they're not doing anything, they're just sitting down or just on their phones all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything in the yoga world is really important. So I've mentioned already some components, and
Mm-hmm.
there's more components that we will be tackling throughout the practice or the journey. So all you have to do is to show up whenever you're ready. And there's no right date or time for you to show up.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes people just like go for it. You just need to do it. Because when you overthink, the mind is really, we call it monkey mind.
Mm-hmm.
The mind really tells a lot because we're storytellers, right? And we like future tripping. We like future tripping all
Yeah.
the time.
Like
And
you imagine things that is not
ima-
really going to
correct.
happen, but you
Imagining
already fear that.
exactly. And that's the first thing that yoga teaches, is really more of awareness, awareness of the things that you think, awareness of the things how you feel, awareness of the things of how you respond into a situation. And that's through our poses, through our movement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to really discover in a yoga class, or I say yoga classes.
Okay.
One class is not enough.
True. But so yeah, for you, I know you already have your company. You do have the flow and recovery. Uh,
Yeah.
I think the logo is actually you. Is actually you.
That's me.
But
Yeah.
um yeah, my actual question is, because if I wanted to start, you already have a lot of classes. Is there like a specific class for somebody who's just beginning, or can anybody just join a particular class even though they haven't like tried yoga before?
Mhm. All right, good question. um we offer a lot of styles in flow recovery. So there's um flow yoga, there's yin yoga, and most of our classes are open level. So when I say open level classes, it's open to all level of practitioners,
Mhm.
beginners and seasoned practitioners, because everybody is a beginner.
Mhm.
We all are beginner. Yeah, we don't want to label the leveling of of how long have we been practicing or something like that.
Okay.
It's because we always come into our mats all the time as a beginner.
Mm.
And in yoga, we teach you how to let go of your ego. And specifically because we want everybody to ground down and be humble. Um, there's a specific class for beginners, and which I really just really separated it into the open level classes, and just really focusing on the basic poses, which is foundations class. So we offer a basic class, which is, I named it foundations. That's a weekday. And even if you've been practicing for a while, I really encourage everybody to, go back to their roots, what's happening onto your legs on this posture and etc. Yeah, so if you're wanting to try a class, most of our classes are open to beginners. There's just two classes are not not really not advisable if that's your first class. Maybe not. Yeah.
Okay.
So the routine is when people are going to enroll, they're just the same thing. They want to ask, what class do I need to go if this is my first time? So yeah, Vinyasa yoga class is good for a beginner. A yin yoga class is good for a beginner, and a basics class.
Okay. I will remember all of these things because I think the one thing I am sort of maybe scared of, because I do watch some of them online and try to follow them, but I feel like it's the breathing, how long you're gonna do it, and some I'm not sure. There's some poses that I think is this like from some other people, or could be wrong, and then I find maybe another video with a different name, but it kind of looks the same. So I think I want to be the saying that there is a foundations class would be a good idea to
Correct.
start with, because it is best to learn more of the basics first before trying the others, even though you're saying that it is for like it's open level. I think the idea of having an open level as well is, or open level class is good as well, because I was assuming that was based on your name, Flow Recovery. It's because if you just felt stressed that day, it's just for you to recover, to like take out all those toxins and negativity out of your body, and you don't really want to be overthinking about what you're gonna do in a particular class.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that the name of the company is so you want to find that flow state in your life, right? And in recovery, you want to be resilient and be grounded and be pain free in your life. So yeah, those are the few things that we're really having in our community. And yoga teaches you how to really self-regulate. So as mentioned earlier, we were talking about postures, we were talking about movement, and we were talking about breathing. So these are the things that that's working to affect our global functioning. With all of those moving, with all of those breathing. Imagine if you're not breathing and you're just like talking and talking and talking, right? So yeah, simple things. And the idea of self-regulation is really, as mentioned, we want to control on how we respond to stress. Because if we're not aware of things, you just want to respond in no time.
You panic.
Yeah.
And you do the first thing you think that could be right,
Also, I think I didn't mention about body and mind awareness. And this is the sense of being able to feel and experience what's going on in our bodies as we move into those poses.
Okay. I feel like I've been trying to straighten my back this whole week. I don't want to be scolded for my posture, but being Asian, you're gonna get hit in the back if you're slouching.
Correct. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much. I don't have any other questions. Actually, I do, but that's going to be for personal. That's going to be later. I'm going to remove it on the podcast. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, definitely plug time for you. I will. Thank you very much. I don't have any other questions.
You're welcome.
Um.
Wait, for just a follow-up answer for that, for your question. I always tell my students to, try other classes, try all of the styles and, see how what works for you.
Mhm.
If it's not working, then we just go back to what's the class that you tried on, and then eventually you're gonna move on and try other things. It's really normal to have fear.
Mhm.
It's normal to feel that. It's because it's something new. And e- everything that it's something new, it's something scary, right? But sometimes you just simply want to turn around things and try it on just to see how it works for you. Yeah. So, and some people say, "Oh, it's not that bad.
Mhm.
It's actually good." So, actually, yoga is really more of exploratory, and really it's really more of experience. If you don't experience it, it's really nothing. It could be, it can be difficult. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It
Mhm.
can be difficult. It can be awkward. It can be uncomfortable, but it should not hurt. It should
Uh-huh.
not hurt. Yeah. So what we do here is we create new patterns in our body, and if there's something uncomfortable, then we back off.
Mhm.
Yeah, we back off. And what other people say, it's just stretching. No, it's not stretching. It's not stretching. There's a lot of stretching in yoga. It's an element. Stretching is an element of yoga, but it's not the same thing. It's
Okay.
totally different. And of course, you're stretching your body when you move, right? But it's really totally different. So yeah.
So yeah, definitely interested. Go ahead and enroll yourself in the class. It doesn't have to be under Karina, but if you have somebody like that teaches, support them as well. So
Correct.
yeah, I will
Yeah.
just link everything. Like I know I already know. I think I've liked the Flow and Recovery page. I'm not sure if there's any IG, but let me know. Like send me the links, so I'll have them
Sure.
in the description box. So anybody who's interested can go ahead and check them. Um, and yeah, again, thank you very much for
You're welcome.
this. I feel like I was really quiet because I really want to know more. I was like, I
Yeah,
was just
thank you so much
listening.
for listening. I hope you learned something.
I did. I did. I know there's a. It's more of a study sometimes with this, and I know it is for somebody for, expanding your horizons and learning new things.
It's more
This
of loving yourself.
also that. I
It's
mean,
more
it
of,
at the start you learn those things as you
yes,
go through it.
a
Um.
lot actually. True.
Okay.
Self-awareness, self-regulating skills, and everything is really, really magic. So I encourage everybody to try it on. Try it on and see how it goes for you. And remember, everything in your life is, like, for example, and everything is experimental, trial and error. You want to check it out, what's working for you. You want to see how it works. And if it's not, then maybe find something else different,
It's
right?
it's better to try than not at all, and
Correct.
regret that you didn't do it, or and
Correct.
be
So
like, yeah.
what works for you, diba?
Yes.
And you just simply want to find what works for your body, what works for you personally,
Mhm.
and you just simply want to find that, so it can help you globally function as a person.
So yeah, again, thank you, Karina,
Thank you so
uh
much.
for joining. You haven't seen. I forgot to send you a copy. This is basically my extra to the podcast. Guys, thank you for liking because I know you've already liked this video. You can also send me a comment and things that'll be interesting. I don't really like doing this ending because this is weird, but I love my friend and she asked me to do this for branding. So thank you for joining another episode of Noise and Still Said. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got interested into trying yoga or trying something like a different exercise routine you want to try. CrossFit, if you want to do CrossFit as well, whatever that gets you moving. And